Hello, it is time for Writer's Workshop. This is Miss Alpine here again, and today we're going to continue talking about informative how-to writing. Today we're going to be focusing on brainstorming a little bit more, especially brainstorming all the ideas of what we want to put into our writing. So reflecting back to what we learned yesterday, we now know that a how-to informative essay has to explain the process of how something works or how to do something. We need to make sure that we list the steps and the steps are easy to follow. We also need to include all the materials that we're going to need to do whatever we're telling the reader to do. We want to use some time order words like first, next, then, and finally. And we also want to include some extra facts, maybe some extra definitions and details that really explain the process of how to do it. So yesterday we looked at this expert example and we learned that in our how-to informational writing, we should have an introduction paragraph that introduces the reader to what we're going to be talking about. We want to have a body paragraph that explains all the steps to doing the how-to. And then finally, we're going to have a conclusion paragraph here that will sum up and wrap up what we learned. And in this example, we learned how to make some Play-Doh right from our home. Then yesterday, we went in and we said, well, if we are going to be writing informational how-to essays, we need to make sure that we include a topic that we're interested in. We're going to organize our ideas before we write. We're going to think about our audience, use the right specific vocabulary words for whatever our topic's going to be, and we want to make sure that whatever facts we're going to include are accurate. As part of the process of writing, we already started to generate some topics in our pre-writing. And today, we're going to continue working on our pre-writing, but now we're going to start planning it out and thinking about what information we actually want to include in our how-to writing. So yesterday, we all filled out our ABC chart of different topics of things that we know how to do. And this was my example from yesterday. And I said things like, I know how to bake a cake, do the chicken dance, fly a kite. But I ended up deciding on the one thing that I really think that would be good to write about in my essay. Now, I know some of you have already written about this in your journal, but I thought let's use this as an example. I can tell someone in 3 paragraphs how to make an ice cream sundae. So in my ABC chart, I highlighted the one topic that I'm going to choose. But now that I have the topic, I don't want to just go and write out my essay. I need to start thinking about what information I'm going to include and how I want to organize that. So to help me decide what information I want to include for my ice cream sundae how-to, I'm going to, and it says here, how can we brainstorm what we want to put in our writing? We can use this. This is called a circle map. Now, it kind of looks more like an oval, but that's just to give us more space to type. But if you notice here, this kind of is just something to help us brainstorm all the information we want to put into our how-to essay. And the way that it works is in the middle right here, you're going to go ahead and you would type in whatever topic you're talking about. And in this case, I would type in something like how to make an ice cream sundae. Then up here, I'm just going to think about all the materials that you would need to make an ice cream sundae. Then down here, I would list the steps. Well, what's the first step to making an ice cream sundae? The second step and the third step. Now, I only put 3 steps here. Sometimes you're going to have more. And then finally, did I have any tips or facts that I would want to give them to give additional information about any of these steps or about the materials that we're going to use? So this is just what a blank one looks like. But when we go to see my example, look at how I filled this out. So I put in the middle how to make an ice cream sundae. And then these are all the materials I could think of. Well, I said, well, we need an ice cream scooper. Of course, you need a bowl to put the ice cream in. We need some ice cream, that's for sure. I like to use chocolate sauce, sprinkles, whipped cream, and a cherry to go on top. And then for my steps, I thought about this and I thought real hard. If I had to put it down into 3 steps, what are the 3 basic steps for how to make an ice cream sundae? So I said, well, the first thing you need to do is just get out all the material. So once you have all the material out, then now we can use that scooper to scoop out the ice cream into a bowl. And then finally, after the ice cream's in the bowl, we can add all the yummy, delicious toppings. So these are the 3 steps that I think that are most important when you go to make the ice cream sundae. And then I thought, well, are there any extra tips or facts that I want to include? And a couple things I thought of, or a few things, I said, first, I want to let the ice cream thaw a little bit. Because if you've ever tried to get your ice cream scooper and put it into really hard, super cold ice cream, it's really hard to get out. But if you set it out and let it sit for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, it's a little bit easier to scoop out the ice cream because it's thawed. And then I also included some of my favorite ice cream brands like Breyers. Ooh, Breyers vanilla. It is the best. And I also like to use Hershey sauce, that kind of creamy sauce that you could drip and put all over your ice cream. And then for me personally, I like to use rainbow sprinkles because I think it really adds some colors. So these were just some extra little tips that I want to put in here that I would probably use in my writing when I go to actually start drafting. So again, this is our circle map. I didn't use complete sentences, but I just generated some ideas and jotted them down. So now, tomorrow, when I go to put this in a graphic organizer of how I want to organize it, I have all my information ready. So for your assignment today, you are going to be filling out your own brainstorming circle map. But for you, you're going to be doing on how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So let's take a look. Here is your actual assignment, and you're going to get a blank page just like this. I already put the title in here for you, or your topic, which is how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And you want to click here, and you're going to start typing in all the materials that you need. So don't forget anything, because if you have, maybe you just say, oh, I need peanut butter and jelly. I feel like you might be forgetting things like bread, a plate, a knife. So you want to think about all the materials that you're going to need, and you're going to type those in here. Then think about what are your 3 steps to making the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And then finally, if you have any special facts or tips that you want to include, you're going to type that in right here. Maybe you use a specific type of peanut butter. Maybe you prefer creamy over crunchy. Maybe you have a certain type of jelly that you like, a strawberry or a grape. Or maybe you even like to add some additional things like my son, he really loves to add bananas in his peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So you might even want to say, hey, for additional flavor, add a banana. Okay, so you can add some extra facts and tips right here. So this is it for your assignment. And once again, if you need a reminder for what to do, read the directions over here. And you can also click on this audio and it will retell what the directions are. So once you fill out this brainstorm circle map on how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you'll be good to go. All right, let's have fun and let's go be writers.